right.
Hey.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the WO Radio Show here on the WO Entertainment Network. As usual, my buddy here, the commander. He's in the house with me.
We're glad you're all joining us here.
We're going to have a conversation. We got a special guest tonight.
Yes, we do.
He's actually here in studio. He's a brave man being in studio with us. Okay? And he's not
brave man.
He's not a technical wizard, so if we get in trouble, we're on our own.
Well, I'll tell you what.
We're on our own. But yeah, anyway, so he's going to be with us, and he's going to have a good old time. And well, I don't know about a good old time, but anyway.
Oh, sure, we always have a good old time.
There we go. You know, there we go.
Yeah.
I don't understand
what's going on. If not, we'll say we should have had. Yeah.
Okay. Why is this thing not wanting to work?
I don't know.
You know what? It's killing me, Smalls. If you're out there, share it out, guys. Pass this around to your friends and
That's right.
Your loved ones and all those people who say they love you. And yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, guys. You know how this works. We're going to bring on our guests. I want you guys to give a warm welcome to Air Force veteran. See, we got a genius in the house tonight.
Yeah.
To Mr. Dan Landi. Oh, stuck it. Show's over.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Say hello, Dan.
Howdy, folks.
Oh, gosh. Good to have you on here with us tonight, Dan.
Thank you.
Dan, and we're all going to get into a good conversation here with Dan. But first, we all know how we do this. Okay,
yes,
I got a rant.
You got a rant. Here we go.
Listen very closely out there. If you're 350 pounds plus,
yes,
and you commit a crime,
yes,
and a cop pulls up, why you run?
Yeah.
Where are you going? I mean, the cop could get out, call your name in, tie his shoe, have a Coke, and run your fat ass. Where are you going? Stop. I see people all the time on the news. Cops behind him going, he's lighting a cigarette, he's walking. Stop running.
He's going to drop here in a minute.
At
any point in time.
Listen, you're 30 seconds away from a toe or losing your toes. They're so big. Quit running.
You're going to give yourself a heart attack.
Or maybe I suggest committing crimes. That'd be another thing. Just quit crimes and, you want to
worry about it.
You want to run, get on a treadmill. So say hi to BJ Reed. Hello, fellas. Good to see you all. Well, it's good to see you, too.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to see everybody here.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a good show tonight.
It is going to be a good show.
Oh, yes.
Before we go, I got to do the second week of the What Is It? Here we go.
What is it?
What is it? And here's how this works. You all know. 100 entries into the mystery box.
That's right.
If you could tell me what this is, the correct name. I don't hear a cousin pudding sponge or something like that. No, it's got to be the correct name, and you win the mystery box.
SpongeBob's aunt or something.
Belated girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. And you win a mystery box. It'll be on Veterans Day weekend in November. I will mail that to you. Okay. And these things have some great things in them. Okay. Go online and check out people who won them, the things they posted on there. So you never know what's going to be in this box. Okay. It could be cutlery. It could be swag. It could be whatever people donate. Okay.
That's right.
Gun locks. We've had those in there as well. Okay. Those are always handy. You always need a gun lock. You got kids around, you need a gun lock. Okay. Yeah. So comment there if you tell me what it is. Now.
Okay.
See, look at here. My brother, Redneck A-Hole, is in the house. And trust me, when he says Redneck A-Hole, that's exactly what the hell he is, Redneck A-Hole. And he loves it, and it's good to have you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Jeremy Daniels, present. Thank you, brother, for tuning in. Appreciate that. Share this out and tell your friends about us. All right, guys. If you've been paying attention anywhere in the civilized world, starting last year, we brought in Heath Gilbert. Okay?
Yes, we did.
And he took on a plight, him and a bunch of other people, including this man right here, took on a plight. And I say that word plight, not to be disrespectful, but it's a plight because this shouldn't even be what's going on. To get nasty books, pornographic books out of schools.
Exactly.
And they've met with resistance all the way, which baffles me why you'd want your children to look at this stuff when they're in kindergarten. They have a hard time spelling, reading, probably putting together proper sentences. Okay. But yet they're allowed to look at this stuff. Makes no sense why he's such a headache. So we're talking about that. We're going to talk about some other things because this man is running for school board.
Yes, he is.
Here in Cameron, Missouri. All right. So that being said, you didn't tune in to hear me beat my gums yet. Please welcome again, like I said, Dan Landi. Dan, thank you for coming, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Come on over with a bunch of idiots. You're automatically the smartest guy when you walk through the door.
There you go. There you are.
So, like we said in the opener, okay, tell us when you started this, why this came about, and how you got involved, please, sir.
You bet. I personally became involved in February of 23. So going on a year now, almost a year. And what happened was there was a dirty book list that was circulating around the internet. And so I saw it, and what it was a book of 50 books that some of the parents in the Lee Summit, Missouri school district thought were inappropriate for the school children.
Lee Summit.
Lee Summit, Missouri.
Okay.
Right. That's where the first inkling of a problem that regarding dirty books in school.
Right. Okay.
That I became aware of. So I reviewed the list, and then I got curious. Okay, I wonder if we have in Cameron any of those type of books, those titles. And so I called the school district and asked them, and they said, well, you just call the librarian. We have 4 schools in Cameron, right? Each school has its own library, and they have their own librarian. So librarian, they said, is in charge of the library, and just call that person, and then they should be able to tell you whether or not those books are there. So I did. And I started at the high school, and I had a nice lady. I've never spoken to her before. Anyway, so told her who I was, why I was calling. I told her I was just curious. And she goes, oh, no, Mr. Landi, no. She assured me, I got her assurances. Oh, no, I don't put anything like that in our school. All the material, and it's a quote, all the material in our school is appropriate for children. And assured me, but I became suspicious. I just wasn't satisfied with that answer.
Right.
What the old Reagan saying, right? Trust but verify. So,
you know what Stone Cold Steve also says? DTA, don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
So I got online and I started doing some research, and I found a way through a website that you can check any school's card catalog, because they're all automated and they're all linked through this one system that every school uses. Now, I don't know how this happens or why. It must be a federally funded thing. But anyway, it's called GoFollett, GoFollett, .com. And anyway, if you go to that website, you can search for any school in any school district in any state. And so I chose Cameron, Missouri high school, and bam, and I got in, and I started, you can search on this website, you can search by title, author, genre of the book. And so I just started typing in keywords, homosexual, bam, I got a ton of responses, all the books that fell into that category. Same thing with rape, bam, a bunch of books about rape, transgenderism, bam. Anyway, just, all these different, red flag words, that that a lot of these books that were on this list that would float around in Lee Summit were in our school library. And I couldn't believe it, because I just spoke to the library and I just got her assurances that we didn't have that problem. So naturally, so I didn't call back that day. I contacted some of my friends, and Heath Gilbert was one of them. We kind of collaborated, he and I and some others. Okay, now that we found these books, after they said they didn't have them, what are we going to do about it? We came up with a plan. Okay, we need to approach the school board, because that's who is in charge of the school district, right? The board, and they're elected. It's an elected position. So we went to the school board meeting in March. We blew it up. I mean, we made phone calls.
Right.
We called our elected board members. We sent emails. We even sent excerpts from the books, to them to show them that we're not making this stuff up.
Right.
And we got some negative. Really, just we got blown off.
Yeah.
They didn't want to admit it, because look, when you admit that you've got a dirty book in your school, okay, then now you have to answer the question, how did it get here? Nobody wants to answer that question, because now somebody has to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So it's an issue with transparency and an issue with accountability. Anyway, so we blew up the school board. There were, the school board meeting in March. I think there were.
Now, I came to that one.
Okay, in the
It was
auditorium,
packed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was packed.
over 100 people showed up.
Standing room only.
Which is unreal. Anyway, so there were several speakers. We read excerpts from the books.
Yes.
And we, anyway, just to let the public know and the audience to know that, again, we're not making this up, and this is a problem that needs to be addressed. The first thing the school board did in response, try to shut us down. They instituted a gag order. They said, okay, now if you guys are going to talk about these dirty books, say in March or April, then you have to wait 3 months before you can talk about dirty books again. A 3-month moratorium on a topic, any topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mean to interrupt you. You're
Yeah.
going good there, but
Yeah.
Heath Gilbert brought this up last time. He's talking about this too. What's their theory? You got to wait 90 days. What's their reasoning for this?
Well, their reasoning is because the law allows it. And it's true. There is a state statute. I've looked it up. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it gives the school the option to institute a 3-month moratorium on certain subjects. But again, the school board can opt out of that, right? They're not bound to it. They just chose to go along with it. And unfortunately, the state laws, has their back. So we can't do anything about it. But it's just, it just indicates their unwillingness to cooperate. I mean, we're doing their work for them. We're finding these books in the library where they should be finding these books in the library.
Right. I mean, how hard is it to walk down a hallway, walk in there, take this list, see this book, and grab it?
Right.
All right. And I know you're not asking to ban material. Okay. That's not what you want to do.
Right.
Because this ban culture doesn't do good. Like the pit bull ban. Did dogs stop biting? No. Dogs did not stop biting. Banning pit bulls.
Right.
Now they know they made a mistake. So the ban culture, that's not what you want.
Right.
You're just wanting these things out of the school where our children can concentrate on other things.
Well, exactly. And this leads into curriculum. This leads into the grade point averages. This leads into a lot of other things besides the dirty books. Because if we weren't spending time on these books, we could be addressing other more important topics.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we'll get to some of them today.
Yeah, so why do you think that it's taken so long for the school board to act on this issue?
What did you say? He said March, right? Last year.
Yeah. So
It's going on a year almost.
Right.
So why do you think it's taken so long for the school board to act regarding this problem of these books in there? And why has this been such a long process up to this point?
Right.
Well, in my opinion, my opinion,
right,
they don't care.
They don't care. Okay.
If they did, they would do something about it.
Well,
It's logical.
Yeah.
But I do know for a fact, because I spoke to the superintendent, I had a meeting with him personally, one-on-one, about this. He told me in this meeting that the reason they don't remove some of these books, he's afraid of a lawsuit by the ACLU.
Okay.
Right. American Civil Liberties Union. They have sued schools in St. Louis area for doing the same thing, for removing some of these books that were in the library. The ACLU, is suing on behalf of the LGBT community because a lot of these dirty books, I call them smut books, have LGBT themes.
Okay.
And so they're switching the narrative, trying to flip this thing to make it sound like we're anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-whatever, when we're anti-filth, no matter if it's homo or hetero. It doesn't matter. Filth is filth, and it shouldn't be in our schools.
Exactly.
Is the way we look at it. But the angle that the ACLU is taking is, okay, we're going to go after you based on they call it something I forget now. It's you're showing favoritism, or you're punishing, or you're criticizing, or you're whatever, one particular group of folks, the LGBT community.
Well, if they're putting their name on it, then yes, the parents are. Okay.
Yeah.
If they're the ones pushing this deal,
Sure.
then it's their fault. They're the ones. But not all, and I understand, not all gay community and not all transgender community are for this. There are a lot of them like, hey, we don't want the kids to learn this either.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that want to protect that too. So that we've got it on both sides of the fence here.
Yeah, and that seems to be your biggest obstacle.
Yeah.
And
I live here in Cameron, so I know you got my vote.
Thank
That's all I got to say. Okay, I've lived here all my life. Okay, so anyway, I watched social media and the things that are going on and on the forum around here, and there was a lot of it on the out there when the first meeting came up, and boy, there was a lot of confrontational situations taking place, even in the last one that there was. And so anyway, I noticed that a lot of the students and the adults feel like this is they're claiming that it's a violation of their First Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, can you explain why it's not a violation of the First Amendment rights?
Sure.
If you can.
Because we're not banning the book.
We're not banning the book.
We're not telling the publishers or the writers to quit writing. We're not telling the publishers to quit publishing. We're not telling the book companies, right? They're, Scholastic or whoever,
Right.
to quit selling that book.
Yeah.
We're just saying to quit selling it to kids in school.
You're not,
Exactly.
and you're also, what you're not doing, you're not telling gays they can't be gay. You're not telling transgender people they can't be transgender.
Right. So,
But damn it, let the kids go. Let them get 18 years old.
Right.
If we start allowing these books in school, Dan, why don't we just repo the fact that kids can buy guns?
Sure.
Why don't we just repo it? Let them drive. Let them drive at 12.
Right.
Some of us learn on our grandpa's tractor, but whatever. Let them drive at 12. Let them go in there and buy a pack of cigarettes or some snuff and sit there in the store and chew them, like the restricted area. Well, you can't go home and smoke near your family, but we got a little area over here. You guys can come in here, and do these things. Why don't we just do that?
I know. Here's some more hypocrisy for you. The school has strict policies about kids accessing porn on school computers.
Exactly.
They go to
Okay.
the computer lab.
Right.
The student signs an agreement, parents signs an agreement saying the kids won't get on porn, and they've got filters and blocks to help keep some of that stuff out anyway. They've got a lot of rules set in place for computers, kids looking at porn on computers.
All right.
But there's no rule that stops a kid from going to the library and looking at porn on the shelf.
Which
Okay.
makes no sense. I understand what they're saying as far as, you got predators that come online and track these little kids because they're not smart enough, again, age, to not know who's predating them.
Exactly.
But on the flip side,
Right.
these are books. It's right there. It's better than the internet.
I mean, I'm not the sharpest tack in the box, but I'm smart enough to know with a law enforcement background from many years ago, and I
Right.
know that statutes are revised all the time, but I know that they got statutes against this that makes this illegal. So can you enlighten us on that a little bit?
You bet. The statute you're talking about is 573.550.
Okay, book 5 of the statutes then.
It is one of the two pornography laws
Right.
that Missouri has on the books.
Okay.
Okay.
This law was enacted August of 23. All the school districts were put on notice. They were informed that this law had passed, and by August 23, the school districts has to be in compliance. This law only, however, this is a flaw in the law. This law only pertains to books with pictures.
Okay.
But yet a lot of these books contain pictures, pornographic pictures. Like people in sex acts, like genitals, human genitals, sex toys, and how to use them. They're tutorials. A lot of these are tutorials.
Right.
Wow.
And so these specific books are illegal, and the school district is responsible for clearing those out. Should have done this by August of 23 when the law was enacted, but they failed to do so.
So books without pictures can stay in there.
Well, now that
There's another law for that.
Yeah.
well, there's disagreement on that because
Right.
there's some ambiguity and
Right.
there's some gray area.
There's a lot of gray area.
Who said I was smart?
You can paint a battleship with the gray areas.
Well, right. And so
A lot of battleships.
we took this to our county prosecutor. She
That's where I was going with this.
yeah,
Go ahead.
she refuses to prosecute because of it. Some of it's a gray area, and she doesn't. I believe she just doesn't want to get involved because it's a hot topic. It's political. She's an elected official as well.
Yeah, it's the law.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so if you bought, let's say, Hustler magazine,
Yeah.
okay, and you gave it to a kid, you could be arrested,
I'm in
right?
trouble,
Am I-
yeah.
You're in trouble.
I'm right on that, right?
Right.
Okay. School giving a kid a book, ain't that the same thing? Isn't that the same thing?
I would think so.
Somebody
Yeah.
bought the book, and now the kid's got it.
Right.
There should be somebody get arrested.
That's what we thought. That's what we thought. We went to the police, Cameron PD, to make a report. They told us, well, we don't have jurisdiction in the school. You have to go to the school police officer. Well, asking the school police officer to investigate the school, his boss, is a conflict of interest. But we didn't have any choice. They told us that's where we have to go. So that's where we went.
Right.
Police officer conducted an investigation. I think it was a sham investigation. We found some discrepancies in his report. I think some deliberate omissions in his report. But anyway, by the time the prosecutor got it, then they just decided just to not enforce any of this law.
Before I get to this next question, I got a comment here from one of our viewers. He says that BJ, his wife, the First Amendment is not violated by removing the books from the public schools because the books are still being published and sold, and the parents can buy them for their own money if they wish.
Exactly.
And let the parents, if they want to do that, That's the parents' right.
That's the parents' right if they want to let their child be subjected
now,
to that.
They buy the book and give it to the kid. They're still in the same laws. They can still be arrested too. Okay. And she said also went on to say, let the parents buy them in their private homes if they want their innocent children to read them.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know why you would want to read them to read. I'm a victim of this type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Why anybody want to subject their children? Because listen, this doesn't go away when they're 18.
No.
Okay. It's affected me for 40 some years of my life.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I got attitude
there.
problems.
Yeah.
I don't like authority. I want to just pound everybody. You know, there's side effects to this thing. Okay. It ruins generations upon generations. A lot of times you subject a kid to this, like that leads to molestations. And the person they molest, odds are good. There's a good percentage they go out and molest.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Not all, because I don't. But there's a good majority who do that. Okay. And then there's guys like me who don't do it. I don't even want to see a kid naked. Get out of the bathtub at a certain age. No. All right. And that's kind of a burden to my family. You know, and I kind of got to live with that stigma that I don't want to see it. You know, people, well, were you molested? No. You know what I'm saying? So why would you want to subject to your children to this?
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to subject your children to a man beating his wife. Did he grow up thinking women are low accord? You know, I don't understand that. So
I know this next question I'm going to ask you, Dan, is probably very self-explanatory, but
well, not in this case.
What prompted you to want to run for school board?
Well, you're right.
You know, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, we kind of get it, but was there any determining factors other than fighting to get these books removed that prompted you to go a step further to go in and actually put your name in the hat?
There is.
Okay.
And we kind of touched on it before. There are a lot of other issues, excuse me, that we, while, let me back up just a minute if I could.
Yeah.
This moratorium we talked about a while ago, right?
Yeah.
You know, so since we were forbidden to speak about books month after month after month, right, we had to branch out and change the subject in order to be able to speak in front of the school board.
Right.
And so it was during those times where I was doing research into the school about different subjects, one of which was cameras in the classroom. I'm an advocate for cameras in the classroom. Yes. And then another issue was there's bathroom monitors. See, there's reports of bullying in the bathroom.
Okay. Kids
with their cell phones, they go and they Snapchat or they take pictures of other kids in the stalls.
Right.
Next thing you know, it's on Facebook and the whole school's poking fun at this kid because they got him in the bathroom stall. You know, and it's nonsense. The school, they know about it. We know about it because parents, once we got rolling, parents started coming to us with their issues.
Right.
They say, hey, Mr. Landy, or hey, Mr. Gilbert, you know, hey, we've got, you know, this, my kid reported this, my kid reported that, we did this, we did that, we saw this, we saw that. And so we're their voice, we take it to the school. So one of the suggestions I had was bathroom monitors. You know, and now I'm not talking about a teacher standing in there watching a kid go to the bathroom, but have a teacher posted outside the door, in the hallway. You can monitor the hallway and the bathroom at the same time, you know, and that'll put a stop to it. At least it should if the teacher's on the ball. So it's things like that.
Right.
Other issues that once we started looking into the school, hey, there's a lot of things that are broke here.
There's a tremendous amount of stuff. Yeah. My daughter has got an IQ about 145. I can't even talk to her. She's too damn smart for me, right? But she's wanting to homeschool. She's taking all the college courses to homeschool her kids because she had some problems with the school. One of the main things, and I wrote it down, one of the main things is the bus route is supposed to pick up her kids. Sometimes they just drive by it and don't even pick them up.
Right.
And then she calls the school. They yell at her like she's retarded, you know, for lack of a better word, right? You know, it's her fault. And she said, well, you got one job on the bus to pick up and drop off. Right. And so she's had a major problem. And this ain't one time. This is last year. It happened 3 or 4 times. This year already it's happened a couple times. All right. And she lives down there on 4th Street here in town, or no, 6th Street here in town.
Wow.
A couple blocks down from here. Right. And they act like they don't want to do what they're supposed to do. But my daughter has never been late paying her school taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a big thing. I mean, so I want you to hit a little bit about that because what you plan on doing about that, because these they don't want to do their job. When you question on them, they want to belittle you like you ain't got no power. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, people that do that, right? I think it's just a reaction from, because they know they got caught, they know they're wrong,
Right.
and now they're just trying to shift the blame, or they're trying to,
And
change the subject.
That's society, man.
Yeah.
You can't go, well, you did this. I had an argument with the people that have my internet here. Okay. I said, well, where's your modem? You should have had a modem. I said, you said I didn't need a modem.
All right.
Okay. So don't tell me I ain't got one because you said no.
Right.
And then they had to go on a little bit. I said, and I had to pull the card. I said, you know who I am? Like, well, no, I said, I'm about to introduce myself. I didn't want to have to talk like that to them, but it gets you so dang angry at them because they always want to pass the buck. All right. Even in Walmart, for example, I go in and buy a speaker set for a comedy show. I know it was there because Jeff Onyx told me right where it was. I told this lady what I was looking at. She goes, well, I've never heard of them. She goes, I've been here 7 years. And I was giving her a hint. I was like, they were literally right here next to us, right?
Yeah.
I said, "You never seen them?" No, I put everything away here. I've never seen them in my life. 7 years I've never seen them. I went, "What's this?"
Right.
Oh, when do we get them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer in the headlights.
Okay.
But yet, if you say something, we're the bad guy.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Dan, can you explain some of the obstacles that during this process that you've ran into?
Right.
In this, I mean, there's
And go ahead.
got to be a lot of them
There
other
is
than
yeah.
that
go-
you've mentioned.
And go ahead and drop every allies. Go ahead and give a shout out to any allies who's been helping you with this thing too.
Yeah.
I want to make sure everybody gets the recognition they need.
Well,
for doing
yeah,
right. But go ahead. Talk about
Everybody
the
that's-
obstacles you had.
Well, the main members of my team, of this team, naturally Heath Gilbert,
Yes.
Paula Allen.
Uh-huh.
And that's the minister's wife, right?
No, Paula
No.
Allen's. She and her husband have a real estate company here. In
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're out here by the intersection.
Yeah.
out
Yep,
here,
yep,
new building out
Right.
there.
Colleen Hardy. Now that's a minister's wife.
Colleen,
Yeah,
okay.
Colleen and
They have
and,
Passion Church.
Right.
Yep,
Lonnie
okay.
Hardy. And Travis Eldridge.
Okay. We know Travis.
Yep. Yeah. He's a local here in town.
Yep.
Well, not actually in town, but in the
Outside
Cameron
town.
area.
He watches the show. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
okay.
So these are the primary movers and shakers. These are the folks that we do the research. And we make phone calls, we email. We ask questions. Basically, we're questioning the school district. They don't like that. They don't want their authority
Right.
questioned. And here's why. We found, and we've got paperwork, we've got receipts, we've got proof that they are conducting business behind closed doors in closed meetings when they should be open. Now, that is a clear violation of this Missouri Sunshine Law.
Sunshine Law.
Very good, Commander. All right. Yeah,
Amen.
there you go.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Chalk one.
Show's over. We got it right.
And the Sunshine Law applies to any public body, not just the school board, but
Yes.
county commission falls under the same, city councils, right? Any elected public body. And so anyway, we have caught them time and time again. We file complaints with the Attorney General's office. So far, those have fallen on deaf ears. But I think if we keep finding violations and reporting it sooner or later, I don't think the AG is going to be able to ignore us.
And
Right.
if we get a new regime, and you know what I'm talking about,
Right. Oh yeah.
things is going to change anyway, probably like that. BJ Reed had another question. Our local media have been an obstacle to you, to your case in any way? Have they been an obstacle in any way? The local media?
Well, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to play nice here.
No, go ahead. I own the network, so
play hardball.
I own the network, so
Well, no, I mean, look,
Yeah,
I don't hate anybody, but
no, I want to get that established.
but there is no love lost between Jimmy Potts and I.
Okay.
And people know that.
Okay.
That goes for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Now, for the record, I know Jimmy Potts. He did a lot of advertising for me when I did comedy. Okay.
Sure.
And he's did some stories and stuff like that.
Yep.
Sure.
I'm not here to dog Jimmy. I'm just here. He's one of the obstacles that you're running into.
Sure.
Okay. I just want to put that out there for everybody.
Right. And he is the editor of the Cameron newspaper. One of the jobs of the editor is to go to these public events like school board meetings, city council meetings, and live stream those so the public can see from home.
If someone attacks the police.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so and he's done that
He has.
up until regularly and routinely up until just about 6 months ago when this book thing really got hot and heavy.
Yeah.
And I think that's because he opposes us trying to get rid of some of these books.
Right.
And he, matter of fact, it was in the summer, July or August, I believe. He actually got up as editor, addressed the board, and was trying to plead his case for keeping these books in the library, in the school library. It didn't make a lot of
Hold on
sense.
a
to me.
second.
Yeah,
No.
He stood up, went against you guys on this. He figured, isn't a news editor person supposed to be neutral?
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
If he's wearing the editor hat,
right.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
working for the
Okay.
editor and he's supposed to be there to videotape. What's he doing throwing his 2 cents?
Yeah,
in?
he's supposed to be taking both sides of
You know,
the aisle and
then let somebody.
let people decide for themselves.
That's right. Let somebody else run the camera, and he can ask his questions.
Sure.
But you
Kinda like
can't
Walter.
do both.
Kind of like
Well-
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
We report, you decide.
Yeah.
There you go, there you go.
Now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Paul Harvey.
You're aging yourselves,
Now,
gentlemen.
now, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. But I don't want to break your role here.
Oh, good
But
role.
it's my understanding that I have heard through men's prayer breakfast that I have with a group of guys every Saturday morning down here at Dino's, that our editor of the paper has stopped printing your articles,
Mhm.
but that another paper
Mm.
up at Maysville is printing them. So if everybody wants to hear what's going on, they can purchase a paper and get it through their sources up there. So
Is that right?
Is that a true story?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, boy.
Now I've been writing letters to the opinion articles.
Right. Opinion article.
Between
Yes.
400 and 500 words. So it's just a page
Right.
Yeah.
typed out. And it's it started out as a political column. And okay, so I retired from the Highway Patrol a year ago.
That's where I knew you
Yeah.
from.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh,
oh man.
Yeah, I'm a retired state trooper. And so while I was working, I think I started writing like 2014.
Okay.
And here's what happened. Barack Obama was president. And that's when they started going after the Tea Party. They started going after conservative groups, the IRS and all that
Yeah.
business, right? Fast and Furious down on the border. Remember that?
Mhm.
We had a border agent was shot and killed. Anyway, just all the different shenanigans, all the different, scandals, and just, and nothing ever happened. Nothing ever came of it, right? I mean, just like now. I mean, flashback, it's just like now. But anyway, so I was ranting and raving one night at the house, and my wife, bless her heart, she's a good sport, but she's not political. Or not like me.
Right,
And
right.
she finally got tired of hearing it. She says, "Look, why don't you just write a letter to the paper or something, right? Get it off your chest, but quit griping about it." I'm like, "Oh, that's a good idea.
Good idea. Yeah.
I never thought of that."
Yeah.
So
Well,
I did. I wrote a letter, and I think the first article was called "Under Siege: How Our Country is Under Siege by the Radical Left."
Yeah.
And anyway, and I quote some founding fathers, and it was all that. It was a more of a patriotic type article. It was very well received. Jimmy, well, I don't even know if he was editor then, but it was printed in the paper, and I actually submitted to 4 newspapers: Caldwell County, Davies County, DeKalb County. Up at Terry Pearl is the other editor that you mentioned that prints these regularly.
Right.
And then I submit them to Cameron, and then Clinton County. the leader.
Okay, the leader over there,
Right.
Plattsburgh leader.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I, it's a hit and miss. Sometimes if they don't like what I say, they won't print the article, but it's okay. Look, it's a free country. It's their newspaper, right? And it's, I'm just thankful that they print some of them.
Right.
Anyway, and even if they don't print them, okay, it's me getting just my thoughts on paper. It's something off my chest. And I try to educate. I list examples. I list resources or sources from my, when I quote somebody or whatever, it's not just, Landy on a rant, I've got a message. Well, this whole article business took a turn towards a school district when in February when we found the dirty books.
Uh-huh.
And so predominantly my focus shifted from national politics. Well, and the reason why I talk national politics instead of state politics is I was a state employee as a trooper, and so I can't badmouth my boss, right? The highway patrol or the governor or whoever, right? In state office. So I had to be very careful. There was a line I had to toe. And so that's why I could get away with talking about federal politics, national politics, but not state stuff. So, and I didn't even I don't even live in Cameron, right? I live outside of town in the district, but, outside of town. So I don't even get involved in city politics. I couldn't tell you who's even on the city council. But anyway, it really, I mean, it just, I have no dog in that fight. So, so I, it's just one less thing I have to worry about. So anyway, my focus shifted in my writings. Anyway, so that's when Jimmy and I started getting sideways with each other. He didn't like some of the articles I printed. He refused. After a while, he just quit printing them. Yep. I still send them to him because I've got, I send those newspapers via email. I write them at home on my computer. I send them, via email. And if they print them, they print them. If they don't, they don't. Yep. Terry Pearl up in Maysville has been a staunch supporter of what we're trying to do, of my articles, and he and I are actually friends. And so I don't pay him. He doesn't pay me. I'm not on anybody's payroll. This is all voluntary. This is all just because.
Right.
And so so. And I also I have a website, danlandipatriot.wordpress.org. It's a WordPress. I've got all these articles are on my WordPress website.
Okay.
Dan Landi Patriot. It's Dan Dan Landi Landi Patriot, right? .wordpress.org.
Okay.
And you can go there and you can see all of my articles. I mean, it's exactly what I put. Anyway, so it's something I really enjoy. To write, and I think it was from my trooper days. I mean, we wrote tons of reports, and so writing comes easy to me. It comes natural to me, and that kind of links us back to this book business, right? Yeah. What is the purpose of an author writing a book, right? And you have a story to tell. As an author, you're telling a story, and the more vivid you are, the more detailed you are, the more vivid the reader gets that mental image, that picture, because that's what you're trying to do is bring them into your story. And so you're creating this image in their minds. Well, sadly, that's what these authors are doing with these nasty books, these dirty books. They're very descriptive. Some of them are being just horrible.
Yeah. So you really don't even need pictures.
You don't.
You really don't need pictures.
No. Heath was on here last year, and some of the words he used, some of the descriptions, and he toned it down a bunch. Okay, but I'm a grown man. Yeah. Okay, I used to chase the filly once in a while. All right. Yeah. And he'd say things that I would talk about with my male friends behind the scenes. Sure. Okay, and make me blush. I'm a damn Marine. MMA fighter. Yeah. Okay. Stuff like that. And the reason I blush because I'm thinking, if my 7-year-old grandson come to me and was telling me, things he'd want to do to a little girl in that nature. Yeah. Not only would I bust his ass, right. Okay, I'd catch a case, but I'd be going down to the school and catching another case.
Right.
We'd be blaze orange before deer season.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest. I'm speaking like a redneck male who wants to protect his family. Right. Okay, all the power's on their side. I would go to jail because all the power is on their side. Yeah. So my question, everybody, is why?
I know.
What's the deal? You're not. I don't get it. I'm still baffled about this.
I've got a feeling that a lot of this has to do monetarily. How far off the mark am I missing that one, Dan? That these schools get federal and state funding, and now you've got the federal government that is behind all of this. Is that something that is really stopping the school district and other school districts around the country? That's probably I know Cameron can't be the only place that's facing this situation. No. Is that a main reason why that it's so difficult? It's just another hurdle that you've got to try and overcome in this battle.
Well, not when it comes to the books, I don't think.
Okay.
I think the financial aspect of this is a motivating factor when it comes to attendance.
Attendance, right.
Right. Okay. Every kid in the seat is a dollar sign for a school.
Right.
However, when it comes to this book business, see, not all schools have these nasty books. When we were doing our homework, our research early on in February and March and April, we, like I said, we went to that Go Follett site I mentioned earlier. We got on there, we checked Hamilton, we checked Gallatin, we checked Maysville. We checked Osborne area schools, right? Yeah. They don't have these books.
Wow.
And I tell you why, because they care.
They care. There you go.
That's the obvious conclusion that you draw from that.
I live outside of Hamilton. My kids went to Hamilton school. They had this conversation one time.
Yeah.
And they took care of the problem. They took care of the problem. So,
So what is that? So, so what we did, we through the well, it's not Freedom of Information, it's a Sunshine Law request.
Right.
Freedom of Information deals with federal documents. Sunshine Law deals with state documents, Missouri documents. So we file Sunshine Law request, right? Requesting certain information from the school. Most generally, they have to provide it to us. There are some exceptions where they can withhold information if it pertains to, like personnel matters or, like particular students, issues like with the different students. Anyway, there's some privacy, involved in that we don't get all the documents. But if it's by law that one of the things that they have to fess up, then we usually get it. Right. One of the things we got, I requested for the last 7 years, I wanted to see all the books the school bought for the last 7 years. And a lot of these books, because now we've got a list and they sent them to us, and it had it broken down by year. And so a lot of these books that we're finding on this list, we're checking them off. Okay, that's what this one came in 2010 or 20 or whatever. And so we got an idea. It's a steady flow.
Yeah.
This isn't just an all at once thing, and that's what that showed us. And the common denominator of all this is the librarian has been the same. She's been in office for like 10 years. She's tenured now.
Okay.
And not in office, but the librarian.
Right.
And so, from what I understand, I don't know much about the inner workings of the school district. I'm about to find out. I hope. But that it's hard to get rid of a tenured teacher.
Right.
Unless there's some gross.
You can't get rid of them once they're tenured.
And I think that's part of the problem. But and by their own policy, she's the one that allowed these books in the school.
Okay. Now you said that the other surrounding schools in our area do not have these books in their library, but Cameron does.
Right.
And so the school board here and the district here in Cameron is afraid of being sued by the American Civil Liberties Union if they remove the books. So my thought is, then why isn't the American Civil Liberties Union fighting against these other school districts to see those books put in their schools? I mean, isn't that kind of like a double standard?
It is, and I'll tell you what happened. The reason they don't get sued because they never allowed them in.
Yeah, once you get them in, you can't get them out.
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
No,
but that's how it is.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
BJ says there's obviously school employees and board members who have personal agendas to promote indecent topics in front of these children. We had a lady tell me her kids were given assignments out of these books.
I have heard that.
Here in Cameron.
Yeah, and had to write essays on them. And some kids were disturbed by them. They had a good upbringing, I guess.
Right.
And some of the parents didn't really pay attention. And that's the parents' fault.
Yeah.
Could not pay attention.
Yes.
They just went on. Also, the parents were like, oh, you mean tell me you did that too? Well, why didn't you tell me? Because the parents are so busy. So a lot of this blame also, we need to get the word out to the parents. Look, it's your fault too.
Sure.
I mean, and she also says Cameron School having a male prom queen a couple years ago began with a teacher promoting the idea.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah. When the show's off, I'll tell you who the teacher was.
Okay. All right.
You can.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything on the air.
Sure.
All right. Well, you guys, we're here with Dan Landi.
Yes.
He's running for school board. We're going to get to that in just a second.
Yes.
And he's joining us today. He's got a lot of ideas, and he's the tip of the spear amongst other folks. Heath Gilbert, all the guys he mentioned. They're doing what's a new term? Oh, they're doing the Lord's work. Okay.
The Lord's work.
Yes. And he's getting some blowback for this guy, so he's going to need some help from you when he runs. Have you went to Congress about any of this? Local Congress, state Congress? I know I talked to you on the phone because I heard something about Josh Hawley's people.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead. Explain that to us.
Well, we had a meeting with a representative from Mr. Hawley's, Congressman Hawley's. No, he's a senator. Excuse me.
Senator.
You're right.
Senator
You're
Hawley's office, and I don't remember the young man's name, but very nice, very professional. Came in, asked some questions. Really, hard-hitting questions, like you guys are. To try to get a feel of what's going on, and I wanted to hear it firsthand. And so, we were hopeful naturally that he could pull some strings, or the senator could pull some strings. But here's the problem: all these decisions are made at the local level. You know, and so which is why I decided to run for school board, because really to affect change you have to be on the inside.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you really do.
You know, and so I hope to be the voice of change. But anyway,
But you're gonna be one voice.
that's okay.
Hopefully, we get more.
I'll tell you what, one is better than none, because
It is.
because you look at any school board vote, go back and look at the minutes. You go to the school board's, the district's website, and I don't remember the name of it, but just Google it, right? The school district's website, hit menu. You can hit Board of Education and then click on meetings and agendas. Look at all the different votes that are taken. They're all 7-0. There is no opposing voice on the school board.
Right.
Nobody questions anything. It's all groupthink over there.
And so your spot, there's a spot coming open.
Right.
Is there any other spots coming open?
There's 2 available seats.
Okay.
One person is up for re-election. Her name is Jackie Peck. She's on the board currently. Her term is up. It's a 3-year term. This is non-paid. This is all voluntary.
Right.
Anyway, she wants another shot at it, so she's running again for her seat.
Okay.
Dan Kircher is the other person's who is retiring. He's been on the board and involved in the school district for a long time.
For a long time.
You know, and it's interesting because, you know, he is he's got a doctorate. He is a Dr. Kircher.
Okay.
You know, so and he's also a pastor. I understand and I don't know what church or denomination, not that it matters, but you know, it floors me that somebody with that kind of a background in education, a pastor of all people, you know, is fighting his tooth and nail on these books. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I never
floors
saw that.
me.
I never saw that.
Yeah, that's what I was going. That's you ought to go on radio. That was a good segue into what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Couple things here. What's the odds of getting Kansas City media involved? And are any of the local churches really helping you push this thing? You know, you figure, because that'd be where you figure some of your power, your ace in the hole would be.
Sure.
But apparently it's not. Am I right or wrong? What's the deal?
You're right about the churches. And we have tried. Matter of fact, I just wrote an article entitled "Calling All Pastors." Okay. It's on my website. It'll be Terry Pearl will have it in the Maysville newspaper probably next week. Okay. Don't look for it to Cameron paper, because I don't think Jimmy Potts will add that to his production. But all right. Regardless, calling all pastors. That's exactly what I was writing about. You know, there are our spiritual leaders, our moral leaders, our religious leaders in the community. And denomination aside, doesn't matter. These are men of the cloth, men of God. They're supposed to be, you know, our leaders. Right. Where are they? With the exception of the Hardys, where are they? Right. I'm Catholic, even my own priest. You know, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, because this isn't about that.
Right.
But I pleaded with Dan Kircher at a school board meeting and asked in March. I said, look, because this is a moral issue as well as a legal issue. Okay, we shouldn't be doing this. Okay, if you know the law says you shouldn't, but God says you
shouldn't either. Right.
You know, right. And so the Hardys are very outspoken about this. They make no bones about it. God bless them for that.
Yeah. What church are they affiliated with?
Passion Church.
Passion Church.
Passion Church. Okay.
Out at the old North Country Ford building out there.
Yes. They're very proactive, and God bless them. But where are the rest? My own priest. I have personally called each one of the major churches, not all the smaller, you know, the smaller churches, but the big ones in Cameron. I've spoken to the pastors personally, invited that we put on a training seminar back in August or maybe September, you know, late summer. And we wanted to educate the pastors so they could bring it back to their congregations, because we're trying to rally support, you know, because exactly what you said, Richie, it's, you know, we need them. They're our leaders. But they've been it's incredible. It's crickets. I mean, just silence. And so we invited them. They refused. We conducted a seminar anyway. We just opened it up to the public. Hey, come on in. Anybody wants, you know. And so we had a great turnout, but just unfortunately, actually, we had a pastor from the Kidder Baptist Church show up with some of his congregants. Yeah, the pastor of Kidder. He's not even in the Cameron School District.
Right.
And they don't even have a problem in his school district, in Hamilton School District, with these books. But but again, he felt compelled. He felt it was his duty. You know, and he's right. It is. It's all of our. If you proclaim to be a Christian, it is your duty.
It's your duty,
and it's not an option. It's not a choice.
No,
it's a duty.
It's a commandment.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
It's a duty.
It's a duty. You're commanded to do it.
Like BJ says right here. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but right here it says they're donors. If they're donating, so many people that are involved in this issue go to these churches and donate money.
Yes.
The churches feel like they're hamstrung. Well, I mean, donate money or not.
Right.
I mean, listen, a pastor's got a big backup.
Yeah.
He's got the biggest backup on the planet.
You know, and again, he's the leader. The congregation's going to generally go where the leader takes them. He's the shepherd, and the sheep going to follow. But it.
You see the screen there, Dan? Like you see that?
Yes.
That coming right there? That's for you. She wrote that, so you'll know they're praying for you and what you're doing and everything.
God bless y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
And appreciate that. So,
and see, and that leads back into why I'm running, because for almost a year now, I've been very vocal, and I don't want to say I've been mean, but I'm not afraid to ask tough questions, and I'm not afraid to ruffle feathers. And some people don't like that, but
yeah, they don't.
But regardless,
right?
Again, it's not because I want to. I feel I have to.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to advocate for these kids,
right?
And again, to me, it's more of a moral issue than a legal issue. This is right versus wrong.
Right.
Not only that, but it's also a hypocrite issue. Like we said at the opening of our conversation here, we got laws when you can drink, when you can smoke, when you can buy handgun, when you can buy rifles, when you can vote. All these have ages on them.
You're talking about this moral issue and this Christian, dude. What it boils down to is that Christians have pushed it to the limit, right to the edge of how do I want to say this to where I can be nice. They compromised their Christianity to the point of seeing how close they can get to the world without falling into the world and being of the world, and nobody really, to be honest, when you say the word Christian, nobody even gives it a second thought anymore. Not like it used to be.
And you hear a phrase.
It's been diluted down.
That's right. You hear a phrase all the time about church.
Yeah. And
separation of church and state. You hear that all the time. Well, can't get church involved, separate church and state. Which I got news for you. There is no law that says church and state. What he was talking about is a letter that Jefferson wrote to his friend, talking about we can't just be one denomination.
Right.
You got to allow them all.
Right.
That's what they said. There's no law, and I challenge anybody. And I had a deal on here where they say, "Bull." Don't show it to them. Google's free. Google's free. Okay, so there's no separate church and state. But the church really ain't got no power when they're taking these guys' money.
I'm afraid a lot of the well, I'm probably going to ruffle some of my fellow pastors' feathers around here, but nothing I haven't said before is the fact that they're afraid that they're going to lose numbers, and lose the jingle in the plate. Sure. And that's not what that's what they're afraid of doing, because it's going to be very divided. It could split a church. So they're very reluctant to come in and make a stand for fear of that.
Yeah, and something else is going on. It's weird, because the church would be the first organization to stand up when you got half-dressed women on TV. Okay, our daughters run around there half-dressed. Our son's half-dressed, for that matter. Okay, they'll talk about that. But they won't line up when the porn's in the schools. They won't what we call stack and rack. It's a Marine Corps term. We'll get her going. Okay. They're not there for that. They're quick to say a comedian can't do his God-given ability to make people laugh. They get mad about it. Okay. Right. And these comedians are nowhere going this graphic.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. But they won't do anything about the books. That's a hypocritical thing.
Yes.
And we need to get over all that.
Yes.
Either have and I'm speaking to the churches right now. Have a role, play it, or get out of the game. Stop asking people to, if you're hiding your religious beliefs about God and the Creator and Jesus Christ for some, whatever you're going to call him, then why are you hiding him? If you got the power, let's call on him. He's the biggest backup we got. And so quit being hypocritical.
Right.
So what you're trying to do, you're trying to get in there, and you're one vote. Yeah. Or maybe 2 votes of somebody else, and you get somebody else like you in there for somebody else.
And you're right. See, courage is contagious, and that's our problem. Fear is driving all of this.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's contagious. Fear is.
But courage is contagious as well. And so my hope is that there are some good members in that school board that really care, but they're afraid to
Right.
they don't want to be that sole.
And that could
person
be.
to
I think
stand
if
up.
you,
They don't want to be the first one to raise their hand and say,
Yeah.
hey, wait, we got a problem.
you know,
And that could be. You could be right.
Yeah.
But if
Right.
I started something, right? If I broke the ice and say, hey, we got a problem here,
Yeah.
maybe some others will back me up.
And you can get some explanation. So
You
why
know,
ain't we doing something?
At least let's discuss it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it before we all just vote 7-0.
it's like a lot of other boards or even with government councils or anything like that. If you look at the way people are voting and everything has been 7-0, 7-0, 7-0, what you have is probably about 90% of the people on that board are just followers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
leaders, they're followers.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if somebody else comes in with a stronger point of view, it's hard to, you might just be the voice that in the wilderness.
Yeah. You're right.
No, really.
You're right.
Exactly. And that will change everything around. So,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we're here with Dan Landi. He's running for school
Yes.
board in Cameron, Missouri. And he's wanting to make a difference. And he's got a huge project that he's going to take on. The weight on his shoulders right now is tremendous. Okay.
Yes.
But he's not alone. He's got people.
Yep.
When is election day for you, sir?
April the 2nd.
April 2nd. Get up off your keister. Go vote.
That's right.
And we got a lot of things on the ballot. Read the ballot. Listen, your vote is everyone's power. There's nothing more powerful than your vote.
That's right. Your duty, obligation, and
Okay.
responsibility.
Now, if you didn't vote for Dan, he don't want to see you in 6 months. Why didn't you run for school? Why didn't you vote?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
all right, so get that done. Dan,
If you don't vote, don't complain.
Amen.
Because your vote can make a
Amen.
difference.
vote unless you're voting for an idiot president, then whatever.
Or
Yeah, but
child
that's never matter.
molester.
Child molester, yeah. We don't need about child molester. But that being said, Dan, we're going to get on to some other topics here, brother. You can hang around if you want to and laugh a little bit. We got some funny memes we do and stuff. So,
Oh, yeah. We get a good laugh or two in here.
but we
All right.
appreciate, guys. It's Dan Landi. He's running for school board. You're going to hang around with us and maybe
Yeah.
get back in this topic here in a little bit. We got to
All
get on to some other
Okay.
things. All right.
All right. Here we go.
All right. Now, Dan, you've never been on the show before, and I don't know if you've ever seen this show, what we do here, but we're about to get yourself into some funny stuff. But first, we got to do the what is it again. It's time for the what is it. 100 entries into the mystery box. If you could tell me what this is.
That is in the bottom of the ocean, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 I
Yeah.
think
It's in the water. It's in the water. And if it's in your tub, you got a problem.
Yeah.
The 100
I don't
entries.
want that in my tub.
No. No.
I don't even know what it is, but I don't want it there.
But can you tell what that is? You'll get 100 entries in the mystery box given away in November. Okay.
Yes,
Y'all know that?
yes.
Let's check the comment real quick because we're going to be needing it. Good luck, Dan. We appreciate that.
Yes,
Thank you very
thank
much. He's going to need it.
He needs support.
Yes, he is.
Get out
Okay.
and vote.
Here we go. Ladies, have you seen your man do this? Me on the representative, and it's an automatic call. I do it all the time. Operator. Wife's like, that's a recording. I know. I'm going to be so loud they can hear me through the recording. I've been there. The struggle is real. Okay. Look, that pork, you got to turn that upside down so the grease comes back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That peanut butter?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I busted a full tank knife when I was a kid trying to keep that out.
Tell you what, it wouldn't have been for those commodities there a time or two, and I was a youngster growing up, we'd have been hungry.
Uh-huh. My mom would give me and my brother the cheese, and we was always playing outside. So my brother, he would be in charge of splitting them in half. Never was really half. Okay, but he had his dirty ass hands on. I'm thinking, oh man, you know what? But it was so good. We're like, I don't care. We wipe it off and go.
Yep.
We'd walk around eating hunks of cheese, and everybody's like, "Well, give me some." No, your family got money. The struggle is real. If you're confused about a gender, try milking the bull. You'll learn real quick.
Yeah, go right ahead. See how that works for you.
That's right. That's right. I'm out on this here. Casket for sale. One owner slightly used. Been married for 3 years. Decided to go another route, so pulled it up. 300 the best offer. I got a lot of questions about reading this thing.
Yeah, I really do.
One owner slightly used. I don't think he's got a stain in this. So he's not false advertising.
No.
I wonder if he sold it. What if somebody come up? I'll give you 150. Oh man.
Oh boy. I'll tell you what.
No, my lord. McDonald's opened up a new waxing center. Mick eyebrows are done. I'm loving it.
That goes with the llama lashes. Gotta have them llama lashes to go with them eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This was taken on a Missouri road, and I guarantee you this is right.
Yeah.
Rough road. Fasten your bra straps and remove your dentures. And I think they were coming to my house.
I think that's down here on 3rd Street. I'm
Yeah,
not for sure.
yeah,
Harris
right.
Lane.
Yeah.
One of the two. I'm not for sure.
So why'd you get fired again? How do you go home and explain it to your wife?
How do you get a fork truck to go that fast?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
So, what
Propane tank on the back of it.
what happened was I yeah, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do some of the videos. Now I'm not responsible if you pee your pants in some of these videos, okay? All right, here we go.
What would you do if I door-dinged your vehicle, huh?
I am gonna. One second. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Holy.
Holy shit!
Oh my God! Ice, man. Why are they coming? Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's skills right there. I see Nolan got parked right in the driveway. Whoop! He got out and had a brown stain on the back of his pants. I mean, you
My
know.
anus is itchy as hell, but that's a small price I'm willing to pay to not have to expose myself to the toxins and chemicals that are in toilet paper. Have you guys noticed that so many people have health problems nowadays, at least in the US? And you know what everybody uses? Toilet paper. I just don't know that having a wiped ass is worth putting my physical health at risk. You know, I want to live a long life. So if I have to walk around with an itchy, smelly ass, I'm going to do that if that adds years to my life. It's the same reason I don't use cleaning products in my house either. I only clean with water. And I do boil the water, so it kills the germs, right? But I will not clean with chemicals. I don't want to expose myself to chemicals.
She ought to move to
I
the
don't
Middle
know why
East.
people get so upset about that. It's my life. Let me live my life the way I want to live it. I do, however, get
No problem.
No problem.
Don't
Yeah,
worry, I
knock
don't have
yourself
like
out.
a ton of shit stuck to my ass, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm gonna save that one because that's
Yeah,
the one
you
about
got to. That's got to go into
The idiot
extended-
family.
Yeah, the idiot family.
I'll
Yeah.
play some for you here in a little bit. We got a family tree we started called the Idiot Family.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh.
It's great. It's
Oh.
great.
Watch this
yeah.
beatdown. Roll the film.
Let's get back to the science of it.
But it's not science. You're not quoting science.
Well, you're the science expert. You got the political science degree. Look, let me ask you this. What's the consensus on parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere?
About 406 today.
Okay, 406. Are you aware that,
350 being the level that scientists have said is danger.
okay, are you aware? 350 is dangerous. Wow. Are you aware that since mammals have walked the planet, the average has been over 1,000 parts per million?
Yeah, but we weren't walking the planet. Let me just share with you that we now know that definitively at no point during the past 800,000 years has atmospheric CO2 been as high as it is today.
The reason you chose 800,000 years ago is because for 200 million years before that, it was greater than it is today. And I'm going to submit for the record.
Yeah, but there weren't human beings. I mean, there was a different world, folks. We didn't have 7 billion people.
So how did it
living
get to 2,000 parts per million if we humans weren't here?
Because there were all kinds of geologic events happening on Earth which spewed
Did
up.
geology stop when we got on the planet?
Mr. Chairman, this is just not a serious conversation.
Your testimony is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
serious. I agree.
Who is this man? Legend.
Was that Bassey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
You're the
great.
science guy.
Yeah.
So shit stopped happening. I mean, still got hurricanes, volcanoes. What 5 years ago in Hawaii? Yeah, come on, man.
Americans in America have to resolve to be, and the New Year's going to bring for all
It doesn't matter if you're a North American, a South American. The point, look, not a joke. We have to resolve to remember to.
I ain't gonna lie, homeboy hit that nail on the head. It's funny and it's sad at the same time. It's funny because it's comedic the way he did it, but that's true because Joe Biden talked exactly like that. And he's the president of the United States of America. I can find a speech right now and put it on there. And he said the exact same words. I think that was an exact speech. Lord help us all. Next video.
What do we got next?
What did you say? Do you think that's supposed to hurt my feelings? Saying I'm not funny? Okay, if I could see you, all right, let me see. Okay, oh, the person from Germany doesn't like the Nazi jokes. The Germans, historically known for being patient. Comedy clubs in Germany. What's the material going to be like at a German comedy club? Knock, knock. Who's there? Doesn't matter. Open the door. No!
Do it now!
Why did the chicken cross the road? He was following orders. Throw out one more insult. I'll give you one more try. All she did was re-release the first album.
Man, forgive me, man. I love Mr. Bond, man. Let me tell you something. I don't understand why people go to comedy clubs.
German.
A splash of whiskey to wash the trail dust off in my gullet and keep my singing voice in fit.
Whiskey's illegal. This is a dry county.
Well, what are they drinking?
Whiskey. These outlaws.
Oh, well, don't let my white duds and pleasant demeanor fool you. I, too, have been known to violate the statutes of man, and not a few of the laws of the Almighty.
You ain't no outlaw. And we don't
You ain't no outlaw.
Sir, it seems that you are no better a judge of human beings than you are a specimen of one. Just on a brief inventory, I'd say that you could use yourself a shave and a brighter disposition. And lastly, if you don't find this person your friends, a better class of drinking buddy.
Your shit and iron work.
Here's to do, yes.
Here's the the way he talks. Hey, sit down, man. Have a beer. He talk funny. All right, this one here is a little over 2 minutes.
Drawn by the scent of a golden retriever inside, the lion stealthily approached the bedroom door,
This is a big
waiting
no.
patiently for an opportunity.
What?
The lion, finding the warmth of the house inviting, dozed off, only to wake to the realization that daylight had exposed its presence.
No, seriously. What? So let me get this straight. Somewhere in Texas, a fucking mountain lion snuck in these folks' villa, spent the whole ass night and waited for the ass to wake up so he can eat breakfast. That's what you got. Man. Him. Now, I know I always give Florida a hard time because of how comfortable they is with alligators and shit. But Texas, come on, man, damn, what the hell y'all doing? Tell me, y'all got mountain murder kids coming over and sleeping over like mama said it was okay if your little friend spent the night or some shit? Ain't where y'all front door at? I'm glad y'all ain't in the neighborhood with no damn crackheads. Hey, that would have been a stolen our whole damn living room. And I know it ain't nothing but white people who live in this villa, right? No. Because themselves in this courageous Caucasian situation.
Caucasian situation.
Nature went camping in your damn house. Man, y'all had to catch Lion King come over in the middle of the night. Like they text you, hey, you up first. Heck, that was like a weekend getaway for that damn thing. Heck. And the hotel you staying there came with free breakfast. Because as soon as y'all open that damn door, he was finna get the munch. Man, it couldn't be me. No. Because if a damn squirrel was to break in my damn house, I'm going to go outside and start digging the moat. What you mean? Hell, if I was to wake up in the morning and see a damn mountain lion walking around my house, I know good goddamn well there ain't no goddamn mountain lion. Man, I'm jumping out the damn window and calling my landlord and telling him, hey, you can go ahead and put this damn mountain lion on my lease. No, I ain't coming back. Fuck that. Y'all can have this whole damn situation. Hell, I ain't moving back to y'all with a front door and 2 armed guards in this bitch. Fuck that. Hell no, around him. Hell no, I ain't coming back to this entire state decides to. Stop it, Texas. Texas, stop it.
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If a mountain lion broke in my house, that mountain lion dead.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay, I don't. He get back to my big dog. He dead. That's all. Well, Danny, since you're here, brother, we're gonna play you some of these.
Which family member are you going to start with?
Oh, I got to start with the original one first.
Oh, the original
very first one.
Yeah, the one that gave birth to all the others.
All right, here we go. And I'm telling you,
yeah,
these people vote.
Went downhill.
We tried to reach out to the man who died in this pursuit. They were unavailable for comment. Micah, back to you.
That was a real video from the police station. Okay, hold on. Here's another one like that.
Of course, is rapid, but this was exceptionally fast, and it swept people away. And the 3 people who died said that it just caught them completely off guard.
Comment.
You think?
You think?
It's not really funny, but
Yeah, but
No, it kind of is because they're that damn dumb, and they're making more money than me.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. Now this one here,
yeah,
I gotta set this up. This is his favorite one. Okay, listen closely to what she's trying to describe.
I keep getting crickets in my house. I don't know why. I've never had a cricket problem before, but I looked it up, and apparently it's really bad luck to kick them out of your house. Like, you're not supposed to kick them out of your house, but like, what am I supposed to do? Like, let you stay here? Now there's like 36 crickets running around because I did kick out one, and let me tell you, I had a really, really horrible week after that. And now they're just running around. And I'm like, please move. I just want to make a piece of toast and you're in my way. And I open a cabinet and it's just like, oh, hey, cricket that I can't kick out of my house. Can you please just leave? I don't want to kick you out. I just want to ask you nicely to leave. My house is just infested with crickets.
Those ain't crickets. Those are roaches.
You open your cabinet doors and they're running.
I seen this episode right here on TV.
Yeah.
This is true.
Okay.
Renting a paddle boat.
No, that is not correct. Sean, it's your turn. 500.
T.
Yes, 2 T's.
Like to buy an E?
Mm-hmm. There are 2 E's. And no more vowels.
I like to solve.
Yeah.
Renting a paddle boat.
Super dummies. No, that's not right. Oh. Michelle, you have $3,000. You can spin again, but you don't have to.
Oh my. Oh no. That kills me every time I watch it.
M.
No. Crystal.
I have to spin.
This is a real live episode.
900.
W?
Oh no.
He's going to, this is what you're going to do with the public office, right?
He couldn't take it no more. He left.
He took his trinkets and left. Oh my. Oh my. You see why we named it the Idiot Family, correct?
Yeah.
And we got a bunch more than we're building his whole legacy and that stuff. And the sad thing is these people all vote.
Yeah.
Let's get over to the comments here real quick. So good luck, man. Purple Nurple. No. That's not it. It's not that old. My wife there, she got to make sure this thing don't go off the rails.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the South Park version of that Wheel of Fortune? There's a South Park.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well, I have to find out. Yeah. And if you got a little bit more time before we get on anything else, I want to play you another one. You probably heard this one. This is one of the most popular ones.
Now, Donna, you got quite the vent today. It sounds like what's going on with you.
Well, I wanted to voice my opinion on something that's been bothering me for a really long time.
Okay.
I tried writing the newspaper and contacting TV stations, but nobody seems to want to help me with this. So that's why I'm calling you guys.
What's the issue?
Well, over the past few years, I've been involved in 3 separate car accidents involving deer.
Mm-hmm.
With the population and everything. Each of these incidents, they've occurred shortly after I saw a deer crossing sign on the highway. Well, my frustration is that Minnesota and North Dakota Departments of Transportation would allow these deer crossings to be in such high traffic areas. I mean, I've even seen them on the interstate. Why are we encouraging deer to cross at the interstate? I don't get it. That's such a high traffic area. I mean, I understand that deer are wild animals and they need to travel across the streets occasionally to survive. And of course, to find food. But it seems to me that so irresponsible of us to allow these deer crossings to be in areas where these deer are so likely to be struck by oncoming traffic. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
They're baffled.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. I mean, you think they would put deer crossings maybe in smaller towns, maybe during at a school crossing. It would be a safer place for them to cross.
There you go. Bring it up.
Deer crossing sign.
Deer crossings aren't telling deer that it's safe to cross there. It's just more of like an alert for drivers so they know it's like a high deer population.
The government put the deer crossings there. They can direct the deer population anywhere they want to by moving that deer crossing sign. I mean, why in the world would they place it on the highway or the interstate? I mean, God, there are so many other places I can think of than putting the deer crossing signs on busy highways and interstates.
You seem to be under the misunderstanding that the deer are somehow attracted to the deer crossing sign.
Well,
she believes it.
Well, yeah, the deer crossing sign is there to allow the deer to know that's where they need to cross.
Right. And all these car accidents you had involved a deer after you'd saw a deer crossing sign.
Exactly. I mean, I'm trying to watch out for the deer, but I mean, speed limit 55, 65. How am I supposed to, you can't brake really quick if if the deer just is crossing in that deer crossing area.
So you'd like to see these signs move somewhere safer?
Right. If we could move them, don't put deer crossing signs on the interstate or freeways. Put them in lower traffic areas. Somewhere where the speed limit's a lot slower. Maybe small towns. I don't know. I think school crossings is a good idea.
Well, listen, we will. Yeah, I mean, you say you've tried to contact quite a few people about this.
Yeah, I wrote at least 3 or 4 letters, and
we will spread the word. Okay, we will try to kind of help you raise some awareness for this issue. Okay.
Oh, thank you. We need to move those deer crossing signs.
We appreciate your comment this morning.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
That's it. I'm going to get a hold of the state of Missouri and ask them why they did not put a deer crossing sign out here on 69 by our land out there when I hit a deer in October and totaled out my work van. There should have been a deer crossing sign someplace else so I wouldn't get that deer was jaywalking.
Well, did you catch her? She mentioned the government.
The government.
See, it's people like that expect the government to do everything for us.
Yeah,
everything,
exactly.
Including keeping deer off, away from our vehicles.
Oh, God.
Well, I thought that's another woman who just threw the school under the bus.
Yeah.
Can you imagine children walking out during the rut and seeing? He's talking about smut in school. I mean, it's nature smut. Right?
Now we got it in the crosswalk.
Oh man.
Bless her heart.
Oh, boy.
And they vote. So, yeah,
Poor-
they vote.
Poor lady.
All right, let's get on to our
Yes.
our other thing here. We got it's time for On This Day in History. And by the way, normally we do a dummy of the week, but Devil Doc is having some medical issues, and so I don't know what's going on with Devil Doc at this time.
He hasn't been returning any of my.
Me neither. I know he's going through some evaluations and stuff, and probably has to have his phone off for so many days.
Yeah.
But anyway, our thoughts and prayers are with him. Hope he gets back soon.
Yeah.
Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers, guys. He's in pretty bad shape. Okay. On this day in history of June 23rd, 1849, Elizabeth Blackwell becomes the first female to receive a medical degree.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
1968, the USS Pueblo captured. All right. 1997, Madeleine Albright becomes the first female Secretary of State. 1984, Hulk Hogan, well, you know something, brother, beats the Iron Sheik to win his first WWF title. 1992, President George H.W. Bush honors Women's World Cup champions. 1870, soldiers massacre sleeping camp of Native Americans. Yeah, my family's not happy about that.
Yep.
1855, gun designer John Browning is born. I'm gonna tell you something. Gun guy or not, that dude is amazing.
Yeah.
Because of him, we got some of the firearms. Them and Colt are some of the greatest firearms you ever seen in your life. Okay, saved a lot of lives in the military. 1976, singer, actor, athlete, activist Paul Robeson dies. Never heard of the guy. Deadliest earthquake in recorded history in 1556 rocks China.
They always got earthquakes over there.
I know.
That place.
Well, it's because it's communist.
Yeah. There you go.
1991, videotaped murder leads to conviction in Texas. Say what? 1991, videotaped murder leads to convictions in Texas. Who's dumb enough to?
Yeah.
Proud of their work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good for you. I'm glad they got arrested.
Takes all kinds.
Yeah. 1920.
Just when you think you've seen it all.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. What would his defense be? It wasn't me. And the judge like,
really?
Yeah.
TV set, buddy. Oh, that ain't me. Dude, did my hair look good? Oh, yeah. You stupid. 1920. Netherlands refuses to extradite Kaiser Wilhelm to the Allies. Must be a spy. 1941. Charles Lindbergh urges Congress to negotiate with Hitler. Well,
so how that worked out, didn't we?
Yeah. That was this day in history, guys.
Speaking of Mr. Browning, designs good weapons. I got the excitement of firing that BAR when I was in the service.
Is that right?
Oh, until you talk about a work of art,
Hmm.
that thing, yeah. You think you've shot something, you wait till you put that buddy up to your shoulder and pull back on a 20-round magazine of .6.
.6, yeah.
You rock your world.
Yes, it will. All right, guys, we're going to do one of our favorite segments here, our missing persons segment.
Oh,
all right?
Yes,
And
important.
it's very important that we do this segment because somebody out there needs this information.
Needs closure.
Yes, they do. All right, and Devil Doc's not here to see if this case has been solved or not. Usually he's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Susan G. Lyle. I guess that's how you say that. Here's some of the photos of Susan G.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, take a look at these photos. Maybe you've seen her somewhere. Or, doesn't hurt to call the police if you think you know who they are. Okay. Her date of birth, April 6, 1978. Place of birth, Saratoga, New York. Hair, long brown with highlights. Eyes blue. Height 5'3". Weight 175 pounds. She's a female, and her race is claimed as white. Remarks: Susan has a light brown birthmark on her left collar, a mole on her left cheek beneath her earlobe, excuse me, and a surgical scar on her left foot. She was last seen wearing a long black trench coat, a black shirt, and blue jeans. She was carrying a black book bag or a tote bag.
Mm-hmm.
She was known to be avid computer user and enjoyed spending time conversing online. The details. Susan was last seen on the evening of March the 2nd, 1998 at approximately 9:20 p.m. as she departed her place of employment at the Cross Gates Mall in Guilderland, New York. She was known to have boarded a Capital District Transit Authority bus heading to Collins Circle of the United States University of New York, the Albany, New York, where she was a student. It is believed that she exited the bus at Collins Circle approximately 9:45 p.m. and has not been seen since. Okay. Not been seen since, guys. If you have any information concerning this person, please contact your local FBI office or your nearest American embassy or consulate. Field office is Albany. And remember, you can submit a tip online.
Yep.
One more time.
Take a good look out there, folks.
I'm sure the family would love some closure about this deal. 1998, guys. 1998. Wow. She's been gone that long. All right. That's where we're at there. Normally we'd have a outdoor segment, but our other temporary guest, he's have medical problems as well. So we're just going to continue on. Dan, if you got a few more minutes,
Here, I'll center up here.
Okay.
Right. You got all the time in the world. Right
now, we discussed the book thing.
Yep.
And I said nauseum, but there's no such thing.
Yeah,
the more you just need to get out there and you need to talk about it. But there's a lot of other things that school boards members like yourself can fix too. For example, waiting till the last minute to notify parents the school is closed. And what I mean by last minute, 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, because some parents are sleeping and don't know. They wake up next morning, the kids got up and get ready to go. They're assuming they're going to work and they're not. There's no babysitter lined up. That's causing a real big issue, I've noticed. And in my family, I noticed it a lot of families.
Oh, there's a lot of them in our neighborhood.
Yeah. So not being one thing, you can what would your idea be to help stop that situation or fix it maybe?
Well, early warning. I mean, it depends, I guess, really on when the school gets notified or when the decision is made to shut down, because then everything runs off of that time.
Right.
You know, so the sooner they can call it, then the sooner they can make the notifications. I think they've got a fairly decent notification process. I mean, they've got text messages, right? They've got Facebook and
the local news runs across the bottom of the screen.
Even Kansas City news.
Yeah.
So as
even on
the
there.
ticker at the bottom. So I think the system itself is okay. I mean, from what I understand of it, but I think if the sooner they can make that call and get the notice out, the sooner to the parents.
And who usually in charge of that?
That I don't know. I assume it's the superintendent.
That's okay. That's what I thought. I thought so. I wasn't
He
sure.
is the top administrator in the school.
Right.
Now he answers to the board, but when it comes to day-to-day operations, superintendent is the top dog at the school.
I see. Okay, I'm good.
I know that they canceled school today, but it was for those that were out of town because of the threat of ice and stuff out there, the small skin they had.
Right.
And teachers had to be available online to visit with students up until about 2 o'clock this afternoon or something like that. So I think a lot of students, they had classes at home via the internet on the computer. So that's another thing that I've noticed that the school district's doing. So they have a counted day instead of a absent day that they've got to make up in the spring.
Missing more school. They're going in June.
Yeah. Well,
now you hit on a topic I didn't mean to bring up, and thank you for that. These online classes they take at their house. I know there's a lot of families who can't get online at their house. A lot of rural kids who haven't got enough to push their assignment. They got like a hotspot, for example, and don't hardly push. What's the rules of these kids? Can these kids get a break, or how does that work? Do you know anything about that?
Well, no, I don't. I'm rural, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I am too. So
you know, and until they, you know, the state's pushing this statewide, you know, internet service, you know, the high speed internet, until it gets to everybody, it's you know, it's you know, I mean, you're just out there.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I mean, that would be one thing I'd have to inquire about, because there's a lot of things that go on day to day that I don't know anything about. So
Right.
my kids are grown, you know,
Right.
you know, they've been grown for, you know, I'm a grandpa now. And so, you know, I don't have any kids in school at this time.
Right.
And so a lot of this stuff goes over, you know, happens behind, you know, without me even noticing, because
you got grandkids in school.
Well, no, not in this school.
No,
my grandkids don't live. Unfortunately, they don't live this close.
Right. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I forgot to do this, and I need to get this done real quick. First of all, I want to thank our month sponsor, Core Concrete and Ready Mix. They're keeping everything going for 1 month. We thank you guys for that.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
thank
Great
you.
deal. If you're up near the Arrowhead Stadium and you need your concrete, check out Core Concrete Ready Mix. Okay, they'll take care of that, and they'll do you good. Also coming up in Bethany, Missouri. Okay, that's down the road. That's down 35 highway here. April 5th, 6th at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. April 7th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The American Legion Post up here, American Legion Post 216, is having the best little gun show in Northwest Missouri. If this is the same one that was here, it was a pretty good gun show. I know a lot of people that came and was well pleased. And so it's handicap accessible. General admission is $5 per person per day. Okay, and you got a couple of days up here, 3 days, so it's $5 a day a person. Right.
Okay.
12 and under. Free with paid adults. Means your kids can't be running around unattended. And food available on site.
Okay.
So April 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Cool.
Check your time up there, and that's a thing we do for the community. If you're local and you have anything you want to advertise, hit me up, and we'll be glad to advertise it for you as well.
Be glad to get her out there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. That's Typhoon Panda.
Hey,
He was on the show
Typhoon Panda.
not long ago. The other day, he was on here. He's making us laugh. He's a professional comedian I try to run with sometimes, and we do shows together. He's a very funny man. Very funny man. Him and I got a saying: don't apologize for funny.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Which is another thing.
Yeah.
People go to a comedy show and get offended.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because it's okay for you to make jokes about everybody else,
but not them. Yeah.
I got into it with a gentleman. Okay, after the show, and not during the show, he didn't heckle me or anything. But afterwards, he goes, I'm kind of disappointed. I said, "Well, yeah, what you disappointed about?" He goes, "Well, you're a funny guy, but I don't like you kind of said something about homosexuals." I said, "That offended you?" He said, "Yes, it did." I said, "But I noticed you laughed when I talked about the church, right?"
Yeah.
I said, "You laughed when I talked about God and Jesus, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And nothing off limit, buddy. I said, I'm sure Jesus laughed about it. It's a joke. I'm not, and I'm not, if I don't say your name, I'm not calling you out.
Right,
I'm
that's
talking
right.
about the situation.
That's right.
Okay. And so he's like, well, I won't be back. Well, you know what?
Okay.
Sorry. You ain't getting a refund. You can't eat steak and want a refund on the meal. Right. But, hey, I mean, I don't know. If it says 18 years old and up on the flyer.
Yeah.
Okay. That pretty well tells you there's going to be some topics talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't come.
Yeah.
I had a show like that too. We put adult comedy, big letters, adult comedy. Lady shows up, she's all offended. Where's the clean comedy at? Maybe you need to read.
Yeah.
I know you can. You drive in here? I did. So you got a driver's license? I did. You take a test? I did. So you can read.
Hey, you need to put on your flyers in the future when you advertise. Come to our comedy show and prepare to be offended.
That's
our disclaimer. Prepare to be offended.
Yeah.
It will happen.
But that leads kind of back to where you're there. I mean, people are certain groups of people are overly offended, and I think it's because they think they're doing wrong, don't want to admit to doing wrong, so they don't want nobody calling them out on the wrongdoing.
I think that's right.
Okay. Like, for example, if you're gay, it says in the Bible not to be gay. I'm not going to get a biblical thing with it. I don't care. But don't get mad when I talk about gay people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
And leave the kids out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, leave the kids out.
Leave the kids out of it.
Now, not all gay people are offended. I had a couple gay come in and they laughed their ass off. That's funny. I like that. I like that. Okay. Well, so what?
Yeah.
But leave the kids out of all this stuff because, like I said, it's hypocritical.
Yep.
And we ask somebody, we ask kids, wait till they're 18 to do various number of things.
Mm-hmm.
That flyer, for example, had to be accompanied by an adult. At 12 years old, had to have an adult. Why do we put restrictions in age if this is what you're going through.
Yeah.
Right.
It makes no damn sense. And, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Where are we at in this country?
Yeah.
And now I've heard people say, well, it's going to go back. It's going to back off a little bit and go back. I don't think it's going to go back. I think these people are here. We need to jump out ahead of them further. Okay. Not saying they can. I don't want to ban them. Don't want to ban them.
Excuse me.
Do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm not for bans. Like everybody was banning pit bulls. We talked about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Pit bulls. Dog bites didn't stop.
No.
Different dogs start biting.
Yeah.
It ain't the dog. It's the owner of the dog.
Yeah.
It's like guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people.
Amen.
It's the people. Yeah.
It's people. And I know that I learned that when I was 15 years old. I took the hunter safety course. The game warden come in there who's getting a course. He took his gun out of his holster. He lays it on the table facing the crowd. Nobody said anything because we wasn't sensitive crybabies.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't say nothing. He went on and everybody took their tests and they read their signs, did everything like that. By the end of the day, he walks over, grabs the gun, puts it back in his holster. He said, "Is everybody here all right?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "The whole time that gun was loaded." He pulls it and jacked the shell out of it. It was loaded, right?
Okay.
He says, "That gun was loaded the whole time. Anybody here get shot? That gun go off?" No. He said, "It ain't the guns. It's the people behind the guns."
That's right.
He said, "This is a tool.
That's it.
You need to use this accordingly. You don't grab the blade when it's a saw when it's spinning, do you?"
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I know a guy.
That's right.
No, that don't work too good.
Yeah, no. And I learned at 15, I'm thinking, okay, that's a life lesson. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
We had firearm training when I went to school.
Now,
We did.
Yes, yes,
we
yes,
honestly did.
we did too.
And we did target shooting.
Yeah.
We did.
Now, if you do any of that, they're coming after the game warden. Okay. You know, he offended me. He almost shot me.
Yes, yes.
Even though he didn't.
Right.
Even though he's well qualified to handle a freaking firearm, because they do just as much training as the police does.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Or they'll get to school. Why are you bringing this into school? We don't need to learn about guns. We need to learn about how little boys can do other things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, this is not nothing about the school, but what do you think it's going to take for this country to start caring about our children and not just children on an island somewhere?
Well, society is like a pendulum. It swings back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on it just a minute ago. As hard as and I say the left, but just
the other side,
as hard as they push, eventually, because the right, just generally, good-hearted people, peace-loving folks. You do your thing, I'll do mine. Just leave me alone. But the more they encroach on our liberties and our freedom, the more naturally we're going to push back. And I think as more people lose their liberty and freedom in this country, then the more they will push back.
Right.
And it takes something personal to get people involved. The school board stuff. I'm ashamed to admit I haven't been to a school board meeting. I've been a resident for over 20 years in this district.
Right.
And my first school board meeting was last March when we approached about these books. I trusted these folks. They're the educated ones in the community. So I thought
Supposed to be.
right. So they're trustworthy. They're we can don't have to micromanage them. Right. I can let them do their job and I'll go do mine, and that's it. Well, this is what happens when there's no oversight. And anyway, so and not to cast stones or anything, but until it becomes personal, until you actually get involved, or something happens and you lose your freedom.
Yeah. Too much authority and not enough supervision.
Right.
Really.
And so I think when it becomes personal, people get involved, and I think that's the direction the pendulum I think is swinging at this point.
Yeah. Fixing to swing back.
Yes.
Normally I would agree with you on that because I've seen that, you got so much bad, then it has to go back to so much good, like that. But I think the pendulum might be broken. And I'll tell you why. Because not only are the churches changing to adapt, women pastors, for example. Mm-hmm. We had a minister on here who talked about that. He's like, some good ones. They're not supposed to be that way, but and the churches are accepting homosexuality, mm-hmm. and they're accepting of it. Not accepting the person, that's okay, but they're accepting behavior, right? And smoking. I've seen people smoking out back in church. Okay. But our military is being overran.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, with weakness. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is this. I've got a lot of veterans in my family. I got a son-in-law, a veteran. And we were talking one day. I said, "Hey, what style of martial arts in there? You know, because I studied line, which is the world's second deadliest martial arts. Okay, and also studied Krav Maga, so I can handle myself if I need to." And he's like, "Dad, I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "No, if we're going to learn anything like that, we have to fill out paperwork, submit paperwork in order to take these classes." I said, "Well, what if you lose your gun?" "Well, you got a knife. You know how to use a knife?" Because they've never really taught us. So I took him out back and showed him a few things that I know to save his life, to get him back onto my daughter so we can have him in the family if it ever happened. And I got thinking, when do they took away line training out of the Marine Corps. They used the MMA style. Okay. But now people got to request permission to train. I mean, we did that. That was every day. Yeah. You PT'd and then you did some hand to hand. Then you went on and did your regular job, so they're coming in there like that. And now you got our leaders, and I say that too loosely. Our leaders are standing up there in Congress, the White House, wherever, and they're sniffing kids and saying it's okay. The daughter, and we talked off air a while ago, the daughter writes memoirs in her diary. She's past puberty age. She's still taking showers with her dad. That kind of thinking's got to stop because
that's crazy.
And then she sniffed them in the shower. That doesn't make any sense to me. But by them doing it, it empowers people. Well, the most powerful man in the country is doing it. Why can't I do it? Okay, and all these things are starting to click down. What are we going to swing back to?
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
What do we swing back to?
And maybe I'm not living in reality. I mean,
maybe you are.
Maybe a little, too much wishful thinking. But I don't believe America's over. I don't believe we're done.
No.
And I do believe that there are still a lot of good, decent people in this country that give a darn, and and are willing, to make a stand. And that, and I don't like talking about Civil War. So I mean,
I was going to ask you because you're a grown man.
Because that's kind of where this thing is going. But
I don't think we're going to have one. I really don't think one's coming. I think at the very end, right will trump wrong.
Yeah.
But I think you need to be prepared for one. That's mine. Mine. What say you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's there were a lot of underlying issues in the American Civil War, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just one thing. It's never just one thing.
No,
it was a lot of issues.
Right.
Yeah, I tell my black friends it wasn't over slavery.
And we had a lot of outside influences.
Yes.
A
lot of money.
Right. That were poking and prodding and trying to get us, going at it.
What started was land. That's what started.
Land.
Actually, it was land. They threw slavery in there to beef this thing up to get us to go to war.
That didn't come about till about 1863 when they throw that.
But the land's what started that because the government wanted land and they didn't even own it anyway. My people still owned it. No one's wrote my people a check. Right. That's a different story, different thing for another time, right? But that's actually what started. And then they had to throw all this crap on there, and then and I'm not calling slavery crap. I'm not making light of it. That's a black eye on this country.
Sure. Yeah,
it really is. But people get delusional on what's going on. And, like you said, I don't think there's going to be a civil war. But if there is, I'm going to be ready for one. But if we can do it a different way, but what are we going to give these people? I mean, let's say I read an article where a guy was talking about what's the United States going to give us? They've already gave us alcohol back. Now they're legalizing weed all over the country. What else are they going to give us to appease the people? Pretty soon, there's nothing to give us that we don't already have. They're going to start taking things away. Is that what's going to happen? Well, you guys got too much. Let me take away a little bit of your freedom because you don't need it. You're not using it.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going? What do you think?
Well, they're going to give us free money.
Oh yeah.
And in exchange, we're supposed to get a COVID jab, and we're supposed to, play by their rules. And if you don't, then you don't get freebies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm definitely not an anarchist, but I agree we have to be prepared.
Right.
And it all starts with yourself and your family at home.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about, building a bunker per se, but, stock up on food. I mean, that's something that everybody can do. Canned goods.
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you, I got some friends in the Mormon religion who believe that very thing. Stack up on food. They've got bunkers.
6 month supply.
With food in it, yeah. Now, I'm going to be one of the idiots to go around stealing shit. I got a gun. I'm going to go take what I need. Probably get shot, but.
But at the same time, okay, you got to think about water supply. You've got to think about heating, shelter.
See, that's a big thing.
Yeah. You can't rely on the government for the public utilities. I mean, you have to think about this, self-preservation, self-survival.
Yep.
And as men, we're responsible for our families.
Exactly.
Right.
It falls on us.
And a lot of things are going to hurt all over. As soon as that power goes off for more than 3 days, people are going to lose their minds.
Especially when they can't recharge their
cell phone, or if it's hot, they got no AC.
Nothing.
Some of us train without any AC. We can live without it.
Sure.
Okay.
I got these 365 days. Everything in the world that I had, I carried on my back.
Yeah, right.
For 365 days.
And you knew how to acquire things.
You
adapt
adapt
and
and overcome. Yeah, that's right.
My wife already knew this, but she was watching the internet and seeing this guy take a knife and rub it on his sock and get a little fuzz off the sock and roll it up and made it light where he can burn stuff with it, right? Well, I already knew that technique, but she was fascinated by it because they're showing that. And I'm thinking, my grandkids need to learn this stuff.
Right.
Right. Okay. Right. Now, I'm not telling them to go out and rob, plunder, and steal.
No.
But if something comes to you,
you
have a right, a God-given right
Yep.
to defend yourself.
You do. Right.
All this martial arts I've learned is useless if I don't use it. But I'm not a bully. I'm not going to bully nobody.
Right.
If someone jumps on me, he's going to sleep.
Yeah.
You know? People are like, why you got so many knives? Because I can. Come in my house and I introduce you to all of them.
Rule number 6, always carry a knife.
Always carry a knife. So, but I mean, and we're not trying to strain anybody. And those listening, thank you for tuning in. But get yourselves ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prepare.
And the type of fight that Dan's going through right now has showed him a lot and showed everybody a lot of what's going on. Why can't we protect our kids, and why are we getting so much feedback or pushback
for trying to do that?
For trying to do it. What you're supposed to do that. Tells me not only are the laws a little twisted and wrong, but the parents ain't paying attention. The parents fall on this there. What kind of parent would allow their child? See, you're giving pedophiles now an opportunity to have power. Okay. Well, you can go, look, little Tommy, you can go to school now. They teach you about that stuff. They'll come home with practice. That's what they're saying.
Do you know that the United Nations is pushing this?
Yes, they are. I was reading that the other day.
Yes.
Yes. I said, what?
I found it. I don't remember it now, but if you Google United Nations child sexualizing or child sex or sexualizing children, something along those lines, you'll eventually find it. It's like not instruction manual, but it's the talking points from the United Nations. And flows down into the World Health Organization because see, sexual health is part of World Health.
World Health.
They've got to start young, and that's why, because they know to corrupt a generation, you got to get them young. You know, and that's So this is coming from the globalists, right? Pushing this down. And unfortunately, we're tangled up with the United Nations. Our country has been for a long time. And until we decouple, we're they're going to keep shoving this down our throats.
Right.
That UN was one of the biggest mistakes ever, as far as I'm concerned. A big mistake. But that's just my opinion.
They don't help us.
So so it's coming from, again, outside influences, like we talked about, right? They're pushing an agenda, and the federal government is bought into this, right? Because we financially float the UN,
right?
And NATO for that matter. But anyway, so outside influences are pushing that, and we're the feds, right? The Department of Education is shoving that down to the states, and the states. And again, now that's where the money comes in, because if a state wants federal grant money, which they're entitled to, because our we don't want to just pay state tax, we pay federal tax. If they want some of that federal money, well, they have to spend it the way they tell you to spend it, right? Every dollar has a string.
Yep.
And that's the problem they get into, and that's why the American Librarian Association, the ALA, is so far left. That's why they don't have a problem. Matter of fact, they promote this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's
that's why other countries don't do anything about the sex trafficking. All right, we came out of the gate about 5 years ago. Real hard push about it. How much do you hear about it now?
Well,
what agencies right now are going door to door cracking down on this?
Right.
See, I'm running for president of the United States, and I'm serious about this. And one of the things I want to do is I want to empower the National Guard. Okay, to go around, because cops are so damn busy doing other things, they really don't have the time. And some of them, overlook it because they're in a hurry to do something else. So empower the National Guard to run the sex registry, and then go to door to door, right, with an M16 on a grenade. You're less likely to talk smack to a guy in camouflage, armed. Okay, and let them take care of it. If they're too close to schools, if they're going to parties, if they're got their lights on during Halloween, little things like that, right? But these things that National Guard can do to help stop this, and they can run down, they can put somebody online and track these people that are doing this online trafficking, okay, which is vast. It goes across the United States, and they can do that. But they're not doing any of that stuff. I'm a simple redneck to come up with that idea. Why haven't the government thought of these things?
Well, I think the registry system, there's a lot of that the government has installed, safeguards in the system and things, that are good ideas if they're properly enforced. I don't think it's a law problem. It's an enforcement problem.
Yes.
Just like what we're seeing on the southern border. We've got immigration laws. If we followed the law, we wouldn't have a problem.
Right.
We also have
it's enforcing it or being able to enforce it and make it work.
Yes.
And the hands are tied.
And that's one thing that we also talk about guns in this country. Okay. We have laws on it. It's against the law to shoot somebody.
Sure. Right.
I mean, it's against the law to murder somebody.
Right.
We don't need another law saying that.
Right.
Okay. It's against the law for you to buy a gun and give it to him.
Right.
If he's a felon.
Right.
A straw buying. Okay. Why don't you calm down that? Well, don't blame the person selling the gun. Get the person to straw buying. We got laws on that. Right. So they're gonna make another law, make another law to enforce this law and enforce. Stop. We don't need them laws.
We have so many
it's
laws on
law.
the books. We're probably breaking the law when we walk out the front door in the morning. We don't even realize we're breaking a law.
I had a cop telling me that's true.
We are.
Really? I mean, it's unbelievable.
We'll take here in Cameron, for example. Okay, you got federal law, state law, you got county rules, and you got city. None of them agree with each other, right? But here in Cameron, Missouri, for example, I have a bunch of friends living. They tell me this: if you park on your driveway and you're hitting blade of grass, they can give you a ticket. Say you park it on your lawn, even if you're near the grass.
It's got to be on a solid surface.
Yeah, and so they give you a ticket for that. That is crazy. If it's in your yard, you're paying the mortgage payment. You park it damn where you want to.
You would think.
Now, I understand the vehicle law. If you got too many vehicles in your A&M license and you're a junkyard, you can get that shit out there.
Yeah, get it out.
But, if you're driving somewhere, it's just criminal.
But see, people still have the power. We still have the power.
Yes.
Yeah.
If enough people raised hell about it, then things would change.
Right. And it starts with
strength is in numbers.
Yes.
Yes. And it starts with
Always
mental
has
IQ.
been.
See, and this is what they're afraid of. They're trying to break us up and split us up and splinter us and have us, a lot of infighting in our own groups, and especially like you mentioned, the churches, the Christian groups.
Right.
They want us to fight amongst ourselves so we don't organize and fight against them.
Right.
It's a strategy and it's working, but we have to fight that strategy.
It is.
Exactly.
And it's guys like you are doing what you're doing right now to start it off. Like you just said a while ago, maybe if you raise your hand and ask, somebody else over here had a question, didn't want to ask it. Wrong person was in there. Right. Now he's got a number. He's got, I got somebody who agrees with me. I got a question. And then this guy's got a question. And she's got a question. The next thing you know, maybe we're accomplishing something because you said it right. Cameron, some of the surrounding cities, Gallatin, Hamilton, wherever else you said, Maysville, wherever else, don't have these dirty books.
Right.
Don't have some of these problems we have.
Right.
A parent could call up and say, hey, I got a problem. Oh, what can I help you with? No problem. Let's do this together.
Right.
Cameron's not. Why? So now you're going to go in there and you're going to try to untangle, a better word, untangle what's going on.
Sure.
And we wish you good luck to you.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need prayers. We need prayers.
Yes, absolutely.
Prayers.
And here's something else. If you know of any of the folks that I mentioned, right, come to us. We can leave you out of it. We can, you can remain anonymous. Tell us, your
online.
issues. Yes. Again, and we have, you can private message any of us on Facebook, and point us in the right direction and wind us up, and we'll take it from there. We can be your voice. Because a lot of people with kids in school, a lot of parents don't want to get too vocal. They're afraid their kids are going to get retribution.
Or the bus won't pick them up.
Right. Some of the folks, we know that there are teachers. We know we have talked to some in the school that are afraid. They agree with us, but they're afraid to say so publicly because their job may be on the line.
Sure.
I mean, there's always, there's again, fear is a heck of a motivating factor. It can cripple you if you let it. But we just have to fight that.
Yeah. Guys, we're running down to the end of the show.
Okay.
And it's been a great opportunity to meet Dan Landi. I met him once at a coffee shop. direct copy to wife. I had a donut because I'm fat. I had a donut. Right? I met Dan there through a mutual friend of ours, Vincent.
Yep.
Common Denominator Network. Check him out on Wednesday nights. I believe he's on. And Heath Gilbert. I know Heath Gilbert. He's I know his dad.
Yep.
His dad did one of my comedy shows. He spotted alcohol for Levi Garrison and Sons out of Hamilton, the brewery. Great place. So anyway, we're all entangled in this deal. This is a fight we all need to get involved in.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of you come back and watch us later on. Get involved with the fight.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in the state of Missouri, whatever state you are, learn from what this man's doing.
This is nationwide. This
take the
is
tips.
nationwide.
Take the tips he just told you. Get involved in the school.
Read my articles. I detail in my articles the websites to go to check these books, to check these libraries. Follow us on Facebook. We're on. Let me see. Dan Landi for School Board. Dan Landi for Cameron School Board is my my Facebook page. I list all my goals and objectives. My bio is on there. Learn about me. Contact me, PM me if you want. We'll have a conversation. Also, Heath Gilbert is administrator of a great website, Cameron R1 School District Exposed. Cameron R1 School District Exposed. We've got our dirty book list. You can see all the dirty books that we found, and we're not done. We're still looking, and but it's an ongoing process. And we list a lot of we reference articles, professionals, PhDs, and different doctors and psychologists. That talk about the dangers of pornography on children.
Yes.
Right.
So we've got all the references there. I mean, it's a one-stop shop.
I firsthand can testify. It's a lifelong problem.
Yeah.
I've been struggling for 40 some years.
Mm-hmm.
I've even, I went the religious way. Ask why. Why'd that happen? Why? And I'm very happy. We had a minister on the show.
Yeah.
And I kind of went back and forth with him about a little bit. Not to be rude with him because I like the guy. So there's a lot of things in my head that shouldn't be there because of this issue. Mm-hmm. And there's really no way of getting them out except just get them out. Just talk about them, stuff like that. Right. That being said, would you kind of give some kind words, please?
Yes, I would. Listen, folks, you're 22 a day, which is even more now. Mm-hmm. I saw a thing on YouTube. It was an advertisement, a bracelet that you can get that says 22 a day. It's actually now that they are counting the other ways that veterans are committing suicide. It's more like 44, 45.
45.
Yeah. And I said that is astronomically got to come to a stop. You're valuable. You're worth something. Don't feel like you're going through your struggles by yourself. You're not. You've got people you can reach out to. 811. If you can't get a hold of anybody, that's a hotline that somebody will pick up that phone and they will talk to you, get you over your hump, get you through it. If you know somebody that's struggling, take them out for a cup of coffee. Take them out for an ice cream, anything, or just walk. Just listen to what they got to say. Don't try to fix their problems. You can't fix them. Nobody can fix, but sometimes they just need an ear to listen to. And you are valuable. You are worth something. You mean something to somebody somewhere. You mean something to me, and I don't even know you, but I know that you're very important. And you are valuable, and you are needed. Right. And so don't be afraid to reach out and ask someone for help. I mean, get a hold of Rich. You get a hold of myself. Mm-hmm. I mean,
or me.
Dan's put out some information how you can get a hold of him. Talk to him. He'll listen to you. I know he will.
All these guys on here.
Yeah. So you are valuable and you are loved, and you just do not take the hard way out. Okay. It leaves a void. And we've got enough voids in this world as it is.
Well said. Well said. I'm going to take it back, like I say every week. You are not worthless. You have value. We need you. We need all of us. Yes. We can't all be the same. Life would be boring and nothing would get done, quite frankly. If you rely on me to fix your computer, you're going to be you're in trouble. Yep. Okay. So some of us are good at security. Some of us are good at comedy, making jokes. There's some great singers out there. We need everybody here. Okay. I know it's election year. I know a lot of stresses this time of year.
Yes.
For one candidate talking good about bad about another candidate, and vice versa. Just listen. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. Okay. April's coming. Dan Landi needs your vote if you're local here in Cameron. There's president elections going on. Vote for your president. Yes. Vote for your president. One vote. That's your one vote. Get it.
That's it.
You are obligated. It's your right to vote. If you're able to vote, if you're a felon, I know we all know that, but you're right to vote. So do it. All right. That being said, guys, 22 a day or 45 a day. 45 is all the branches counted in and the different ways they do it.
Yes.
Coast Guard included. 45 a day.
Not only veterans, but active duty
That's active duty military. And they also count some police officers and firefighters that are associated
our
with
first responders. Okay. Very stressful. Very stressful.
Bad.
Work.
Bad. If you need some cheering up, I'm one of the funniest comedians around. Come, I'll make you laugh. Okay, I promise you. That being said, as I say in my native tongue, Dona Dagahoy, Osta Usfi. Means until we meet again, good night. We'll see you next Tuesday, guys. Well, hopefully we'll have more information on Devil Doc, how he's doing. Our buddy J-Dub will be back.
Yep.
BB Nation for his outdoor segment. Until then, for the commander, for our guest, Dan Landi, I'm Richie the Redneck Pimp, Bad Man of Comedy. I'll see you next Tuesday. May the Great Spirit keep you. May he bless you and his face shine upon you. Take care of yourselves.
Go in peace.